This is going. This is going.
Okay, now it's going.
Oh, we're supposed to like. I don't care, man.
Just tell me when to go.
Damn. Nigga's rough. Nigga's rough. All right.
So episode. Oh, we're double digits, man.
Nigga, we're double digits officially. We're double digits officially. Hi.
Hi, my name is Gio.
Today is just me and Acris's. Today it's me and Acris's. You know what? Here's a better idea.
What's the idea? Whoa, should I do that too?
Low-key, do it on the other side. We're geniuses.
Good idea, bro. Never thought of it, but, you know.
Okay. Whoa, breastises. All right. I guess we're supposed to be like corny and say thank you to all the niggas. Oh my god.
What? Oh, the Progo.
Welcome, GoPro, to the party. Thank you to every nigga who's been joining. This is Mohab. Don't come in here, Mohab. Thanks. Right. He's gonna see this. Fuck you, Mohab, bitch ass nigga. Anyways, yeah, thank you or whatever for
for like whoever's with your brain.
Whoever's been listening for around 10 weeks worth of episodes.
I've been listening.
Thank
you.
The exception of the bonus. So we have like 11 episodes out.
Yeah.
But 10 real episodes. That's crazy, bro.
And we recorded
10 weeks ago.
We recorded an extra one which we never received.
Yeah, outliers, bitch ass niggas.
And liars.
Y'all outliers in the field of good people who are effective and show up. But anyways, today we're gonna talk about. Speaking of that, we're gonna talk about bullshit. You know, since we got bullshitted.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up the article because we were supposed to talk about it last week, but we didn't.
Yeah.
Because
we had a guest on and we never stay on topic with guests.
Yeah, we don't do that dumb shit. Why stay on topic? Why be professional? It's so overrated. So when we mean on bullshit, we mean like an actual like real article, like essay.
It's 20 pages.
Yeah, some nigga wrote about trying to figure out what bullshit is.
Yeah. Because like he took like a paragraph and basically like broke down each sentence to what he thinks it meant, sort of thing.
Yeah, but that's actually just him using someone else's like description. And
and then he goes off on his own.
Yeah, and he goes off on his own trying to figure out what bullshit is. It starts with humbug. I didn't even know humbug, whatever it's called, is an actual like word. I can't even remember the actual definition that he used, but
it was like, oh wow, we should have done this last week. This is not fresh anymore.
Yeah, it is no longer fresh. But it's right there. Deceptive misrepresentation, short of lying, especially by pretentious word or deed of someone's own thoughts, feelings, or attitudes.
Okay, so it's misrepresenting your because one is like misrepresenting. Because lying was one thing. Lying, you have to like know the truth.
But it's short of lying, like humbug. But yeah, bullshit is what he said. Bullshit was. Bullshit is like you're not even concerned with like finding out what's good, what's like lying and the truth. You don't care about lying or the truth in general.
Right, it's just indifferent.
It's just it's just a pure indifference to like just the truth or what may be right, what may be wrong. Mm-hmm. And he said it gives more weight to creativity when it comes to deception, because you're not even concerned with trying to figure out what the truth even is, so you can deceive.
Right.
So
you can literally just come up with shit as you go. You're not trying to get to a certain goal.
Yeah, and humbug is like it's almost the same, but he just used like other people's definitions to kind of bring about what his own definition is. Because he like the way he breaks it down is just to say what he agrees on and what he disagrees on with that definition. So what was it? It's like
I think it was like is misrepresenting yourself in a certain way. So you want someone to see you a certain way, you're gonna say something.
Yeah, it's like it's misrepresenting your state of mind.
Yeah,
or some shit like that. Like niggas do that for status sometimes. And just like I guess just wanting to manipulate people. Mm-hmm. I think this ties in well with the why do we lie kind of episode, where it's like, because bullshitting. What did he say the excuse like when the shorty said the guy called her because I guess she was sick in the hospital or some shit. It was like, how do you feel? She was like, as a dead dog or some shit.
She's like, I feel like a dog that just got ran over.
Like, yeah, it just got ran over.
And then he was like, you don't even know what that feels like.
You don't even know. But that could be well, he said in the article that could be represented in like a multitude of ways.
Yeah, like he could have been sarcastic.
Yeah,
trying to joke around, trying to lighten the mood.
He could have been sarcastic, or he could have taken a sarcastic comment seriously. But it's still bullshit in a way of like you don't
she didn't try to actually
think about it.
Yeah, think about how a dog would feel.
Like, didn't even think about it, and that happens so much.
It's like you can't even get away from it because it's like every day, like just language. You can't.
I mean, especially today, like the way we speak, it just makes no fucking sense anymore. It's like niggas say literally for things that are already literal.
Fuck, I hate doing that.
I hate doing it too. Like I don't know why we like it's come to us speaking like this. Because niggas, I didn't speak like this before, and so I don't know. But it could be things evolving to actual better place, and we're just like, since the fact that it's changing, we're just resisting it.
Resisting like
the change itself.
All the like hyperboles and like just
the needless hyperboles. But
because you were saying in Sapiens that gossip was an important factor in the evolution of humans, right?
But gossip isn't really bullshit because that's like the truth. Like gossip isn't
right.
Because in Sapiens, when he talks about the cognitive revolution, which is when I guess just Homo sapiens just started being able to like use their imagination. Because what he says is imagination is the reason why we've managed to become the superior race, the superior species. Is because of our ability to imagine things. So, like, for example, laws are imaginary, human rights are imaginary, money is imaginary, society is imaginary, countries are imaginary.
To abstract.
Yeah, we're able to just have like abstract thought, and I mean we've discussed this, but like, what do you think is the most likely that could have happened? Because that's the part that's like a gray area.
The evolution, like
and that science of evolution is like they can't explain why.
Right, there's like it was only 1,000 years that the jump was from like fucking like monkeys to agriculture.
Because before it was Neanderthals that were like running shit as like Homo species. It was like there's like a bunch of them, but it came to Neanderthals and Sapiens, and then just randomly Sapiens just started fucking just like taking over. And just Neanderthals just went. They were stronger, but they weren't capable of communicating knowledge as well as we were able to. And our ability to be able to communicate that knowledge and also just like
work together as a team.
But it's just weird because like how who's the first like set of humans that just went like, okay, let's
he put letters together to form a word.
Yeah, let's figure let's just imagine these things.
It probably wasn't just one person. It was probably like a group of people that.
Yeah, it was probably a slow thing too.
Like, because I think either two possibilities: either mushrooms, or any type of psychedelics, or aliens.
Aliens. I like to think both.
Yeah,
aliens gave us mushrooms.
Maybe, but I think that because there's two theories that I've heard over and over again, which is obviously the stoned ape theory, the mushrooms, right? Mm-hmm. Monkey eats the mushroom, becomes enlightened, sees things for as they are, sees the bigger picture. And the second one is aliens, where they come down, genetically modify monkeys with their own genes to basically become smarter, so they can use us for agriculture and just building shit. Like
what would the purpose be? Was it like they're trying to just like have us? Is it like some real estate shit where it's like you buy the house broken and then you improve it so you can just resell it? So it's just like property.
Because they made the pyramids, right? And the pyramids are literally aligned with the stars, like to the.
I heard some shit about pyramids, man. I should have searched up that smart people shit. Cause
well, just listening to Graham Hancock, I know a bit more.
That was a comedy special. That's why. Comedy's like, I don't know, because it's niggas being funny, but they're using like logic.
Like truth, yeah.
So sometimes you're just like, oh shit, like that makes a lot of sense. And it was this old guy too, in his like mid like 50s, 60s. You should know his name. I feel like you know his name. It's like the guy with the long hair.
Carlin.
Yes, I think.
Carlin.
Isn't
Carlin? Dan Carlin? I don't know.
You don't know? Fuck. He said some shit about like smart. It's like the smart niggas just went extinct, and then dumb people stayed around, and they couldn't explain how they made the pyramids, and they just claimed they did, and now they can't really explain how they did it because no one knows how that shit happened. Because it's actually a crazy thing, and it's like, what's the point? What was the point of those pyramids?
Right.
Why'd they build them? Was it just like, you know, power flex? There's some rich niggas, like, you know how people these days just build shit just because they can, and like how we studied in you weren't even there. How I studied in architecture class, like niggas like the Medici would just like
Medici.
Yeah, did I say it wrong?
Medici. I don't know.
It's Medici.
It's actually it's actually Medici. Or just,
There's a question
I don't
mark.
care. You know what I'm talking about, bitch ass nigga.
I don't. Yours don't.
It's a Italian family from like the 1400s.
Oh.
1400s. It was like one of the most powerful Italian families. But what they would do is just like
1300s.
no 1400s too, because the Palazzo Medici was made in like 50 something.
Right.
Bitch ass nigga.
Right.
They would break down like 20 houses and then just build a house on top of it. Why? Just
because
they can afford it. So it's like,
right.
and some niggas would build shit just as exercises just because they can.
But okay, so there's that, right? Just building it because it's extravagant. But the fact that it's aligned with the stars is like, there's a it's mathematically sound. Like there must be a deeper purpose to why it's being done.
Man, I don't
Like, do you believe like maybe like fucking teleportation? I don't even know. Cause like, if it is aliens, then they must have access to other dimensions, right? So maybe that's what they're trying to do. Like, and have you heard of the Kabbalah?
What's that?
I don't know like too much about it. To me,
Jewish
like,
mysticism.
yeah, Jewish mysticism. So basically, holy shit. I think it's just like, it has a lot to do with like, just transcending shit, like
Just in
transcending
general?
humans, yeah, like to the next dimension or shit.
I mean, that's kind of what we could say, bro. This is why I always think about 2001, because
Space Odyssey?
yeah, because that's kind of, I guess you could say, the author, because it's not necessarily Kubrick who came up with the story, he just adapted it, but
Sentinel, right?
you could say,
The Sentinel. Or something, that's the original.
no, I think the book is called 2001: A Space Odyssey.
No, I think it's Sentinel.
It's the Sentinel.
Really?
Yeah, it's the Sentinel.
Oh shit, I didn't even know that. Okay,
I didn't even read
those
it. I
books.
tried to read or just listen to an audio. I got kind of bored. It was only like 18 minutes, but I couldn't follow.
Very short. It's very short.
Yeah, very
Because
short.
if you think about it, like the way let's talk about the movie, meaning the way it explains this is like they just put this thing there, this access to
On the
this
moon,
information, right? No, well, first it started as when we were chimpanzees, right? And it's like this group of humans are struggling with this against this other tribe. This tribe is struggling against this other tribe of monkeys, and then they're always in hiding because it's like cheetahs and leopards and fucking tigers around, so they have to stay in hiding. They're clearly inferior. And then it's like this random morning they wake up and outside is like this big ass fucking, what's it called, monolith, and they touch it, and then randomly they just
information transfer.
Some breakthrough happens, and he just sees this dead animals. He sees her bones. He's like, picks up the bone and hits the other, like just the other bones on the ground, and he's like, I know, and he just hits it, and he's like, oh shit, like this breaks bones,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh shit, that's a tool, and an invention of tools. And then that's just the first breakthrough. Like we learn these things, and then from that, the next scene is them taking over the tribe that took over their territory because it was a river, so they needed water, right? And the next thing you know, the famous jump cut, he throws a bone in the air, and then it's matched with a spaceship. Mm. So now we're babies again. We're learning space now,
right?
Like we're trying to conquer that.
Was with the mentioned like the baby food and like the.
Yeah, the baby food, and now we're learning how to walk again, and now we're learning again. We need help again. We're inferior, and then we go to the moon, and it's another monolith who tells us that now we have to go to Jupiter, and then when we get to Jupiter, it's a monolith, and that monolith bring the nigga to a fucking goddamn. And it's funny because it's 7 billion. Well, around the time it was filmed, it was probably like 6, maybe 5 billion, like 1960s.
Talking about money?
No, people.
Oh,
like maybe even less.
I think it was like half.
Yeah, human growth has been pretty exponential.
Fucked.
I know. So like, that starts with that, a big population. But towards the end, when he's going through the Stargate, which is when he's being transferred to a completely different realm, just one guy
Right.
who made it. It's just one guy who made it. Out of all of that, like space program is bringing very small amount of people. It's a very small amount of people that like have the training to even go to space, right? So that's like a small team. And then the robot kills. We're spoiling 2001. I don't give a shit. The robot kills.
If you haven't watched it yet, that's your fault.
Yeah, you're kind of stupid. The robot kills all of his like space buddies, and he's by himself, and he strives, and he reaches that monolith that he was supposed to reach, and then he's sent through this Stargate, this fucking weird different thing. He's shown different dimensions, and it shows like how fucking overwhelmed he is by it, and then he ends up in this room, which is just a representation that the aliens made of what they think he would feel comfortable in. Was surrounded by French architecture and shit like that, and like the modern like thing that I guess the aliens would think that he would enjoy. And then through that, as he's about to die, another monolith appears in front of him, and he reaches out to it and transforms into this like
Space baby.
this space like baby thing, and then he's sent back to Earth, and that's where it ends.
To relive it.
I don't think it's to relive it. I think he just transcended. Like he transcended. He became something like bigger than humans. Like, and then he's just back to go. I guess to just go give him that information or help them transcend themselves. And just all it took was one man. So it's like, man, this shit leads me to like the whole conversation of the 2080 about
Oh, right.
20% of people will make 80% of the change. 20% of your actions will cause 80% of
growth.
The actual growth you do. Like 20% of, you could say the work you do will cause 80% of your success. And like that makes sense. It's like all it took was just one nigga to just like, I guess, push through enough, and all those people are gonna benefit from it when he goes back. And is it fair that it's not fair, that it's like not everyone's really like necessarily going to be some crazy shit? All you need is just 20% of the people to save the people.
So like you're saying like only a select few.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about like just the world. Like not everybody's that determined to like just learn or just do shit.
But is it set to be like that? Like, do you think it's set to be like that? Like that's or is it, or do you think it's like fully coincidental?
I don't know, man. It's like, because in our world today, like we can't even function without those 80%. Because like, who's gonna run the WalMarts?
Yeah, it's like we're still dependent. Yeah, we're still dependent,
especially nowadays.
I think the thing is it's
and even in like tribes, like it would probably be 20% of the tribe hunting, right? And then the mothers, the children, all of them stay back. The elders,
but they're still useful to the tribe,
right?
So I don't because the way I see it is like, it's not necessarily that it's 20% of people who are like worthy humans. It's just everyone has something that they're probably like. I believe everyone has something that they're fucking amazing at.
Yeah.
And I think what happens is a lot of people try to be amazing at the wrong things that are not necessarily what they're like inherently. There's this degree of control that you do not have, which is a pretty big degree of control that you don't have. Like me being gravitated towards like this art shit is not necessarily something I chose to be gravitated towards. It's just something that when I think back from fucking youngin, yeah, when you think back from like a youngin, you've probably always been like,
yeah, like my uncle used to paint, so it's like,
yeah, you're just like, oh shit, this is cool. Like I remember drawing comics when it wasn't me drawing. Like I was always into multiple things. Like I would be into drawing comics, and then like shit, I suck. And then I'm not getting any support from my parents, so I'm like, okay, nah, this is just some dumb shit, bro. I started getting good. Like I did anime drawings and shit like that. I was to draw Goku. I started off tracing, and then I started doing copying, where I would just look, and then like I would read mangas and then copy, like redraw like the cool moments, the cool like drawings in the manga, the cool moments in the manga.
What's cool about that is like it doesn't have to be exact. It could just be like,
and you're a kid too, so you don't really like care. But it's around the age where you compare your drawings to like other people's. My sister was in drawing class, so if she's in drawing class, her drawings are obviously this like the status quo of what drawings is supposed to look like. So your minds don't look like this. I'm shit. It's like Haiti. They don't take this shit seriously. So it's like that's just not serious. Like I mean, I remember being asked. I remember that scene so fucking clearly, where I was driving home and my parents went, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I remember looking out the window and going, "I want to be an artist," and they laughed. You're like, that's not a real job. Like, I remember I was at work when that shit came back to me. I was like, because at work we're so good at it now that we don't really think about what we're doing.
Wrong too. It's
so
not
you
a real
just,
job.
so you,
It's not a real
it's
job.
not, but it is.
And it is, and it's like
You can make
what
it.
I want to do.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a real
just,
job.
it's just like, you know?
What does that even mean?
And they were like, that's not even, because I was so into like the music I would hear. I'd be like, oh man, like this is cool. Like what is this moment? What is these things are doing that are making me like have this reaction? Like what, like just intriguing, you know? Like,
It's passion. Man.
yeah, like my fucking, some nigga my aunt was seeing, like from Miami, they ended up being like scam niggas who just wanted to like, I guess just get money out of like our parents or some shit. I don't know. They were scamming us somehow. But that nigga bought me and my sister, and I think my aunt, MP3 players, shitty ass MP3 players. And I remember that it had a record function.
What?
And I remember being on the kitchen table, putting that record button on and going, and it's just like, and then humming into it and listening back, like, oh shit. I remember writing my first rap and rapping it to my sister, and my sister laughing at me and
So
clapping
it's
me
like
for the rest of
inherent.
the week.
It's inherent in you that you just want to create.
Exactly. And where was I even? Yes, and some people,
Like control.
yeah, and some people, I feel like they have that thing, that same thing, but what they're being fed is that thing isn't necessarily
Right.
like something cool. Like,
Or like
we were talking about
your
Tom
parents,
Sachs.
like go to school, and then you spend all your time in school. You have no time to spend on what you actually like.
And
so
eventually
you
it just
forget
gets
it.
broken out of you.
Yeah.
The people you look up to are telling you this is not a real thing. This should never be taken seriously. So for like a nice 5 to 6 years, that shit was not taken seriously to me. I always had a gravitation towards it. I was like, man, it's just cool as fuck, but it's nothing serious. It's just a hobby. It's just something it's cool. Like I like it. But I could never like make this. I could never think crazy of it until like 2014. And I was like, nah, nigga. Let me get FL Studio. Let me get FL Studio. After Yeezus, everything changed. But like Tom Sachs. I sent you were too busy, but I sent him an interview. But I watched another one, and he was talking about how he was a
TED Talk?
janitor. No, not a TED Talk. TED Talk was crazy though. But how he was a janitor for like 20 years.
Say a word.
It took 20 years before he's like started making a living out of the shit he does
Tom
now.
Sachs.
He's 52. I know, like, and he was a janitor, technology. He just did like engineering, technology, like welding shit, because that's what he's into. And then contractor for I think some technology company. And what he said was his mentality was, instead of complaining of the fact that I'm janitor because of the label that's thrown on janitor, like you shit, cleaning toilets, that's where people shit. Like that's a lowly job. Like you're a lowly person, poor, like that's poor nigga shit. Like instead of that, why don't I just actually try to just be the best janitor that I can be? Why don't I like actually do like
the best job
that I can? Why don't I just build a system and just like, and then eventually his managers, his supervisors would talk to him and say, you're making me look bad. He's like, yeah, I'm supposed to make you look bad. Like
What do you
that's
mean?
like they're making it like, so he's working harder than his supervisors as a janitor. Like he looks better than his supervisors, and he's a janitor. He's like, yo, like, I was like, I'm not. Instead of complaining, I'm gonna make that toilet shine. and from that,
That's crazy.
he soon became supervisor, and then he just climbed up the company, and then now the company hires him to make like art pieces for them.
That's crazy.
And then now he's Tom Sachs. So it's like,
Like imagine he was that kid that the parents was like, no, that's silly.
imagine
You
he was
never
just like,
imagined
I'm a
it.
janitor. Like I'm never gonna be anything. I'm just a janitor. And he's just like, let that get to him. And now he's not trying anything. He's not trying to be a good janitor. He's just trying to live paycheck to
Right.
paycheck, just live and maybe get a better job eventually if he's lucky.
And
Instead of-
it's so easy to intellectualize it too. Like, but to live that every single day for 20 years, that's
takes a lot of patience.
next.
Bro, that's what. Fuck. I love how much we jump from shit to shit, but that's the thing about Well, we said this already, but I don't think we recorded that part actually. When we recorded it with Noah and we had the long talk after, like people lack patience. But and also I think people should live paradoxically. That's one thing I've realized, like just through just the last few weeks.
Right. Because I mean, like, that's really the only thing that's gonna keep you sane in this world.
Yeah, you can't be too stuck to one thing. It's gonna fuck you up. Like you have to be able to contradict yourself, but also don't contradict yourself. That's the paradox. You have to contradict yourself. Don't contradict yourself, because then you'll fall back on contradiction to excuse your shit.
It kind of goes back to like, I love this. It's probably my favorite quote. Dalai Lama, he said, "Know the rules well so you can break them effectively."
Exactly. There are rules, except there are no rules.
Right.
And that's the whole thing about like there's no human rights. Like there's no laws. There's no, except there is. Except we're in it now. Like we have to live like that, you know. But
right, like in front of police, like you're not gonna break the law, but it's just me and you.
In front of police, there's no such thing as human rights. Is not gonna, like, if you do something bad, like we've agreed to live about like so we can.
Right.
Like,
and that's even then there's corruption and like bribery and all that.
And this was managed to have us evolve to the point where we are now. Like our
and there's
ability
it's happening on such a big scale that like fucking Russia's Russia's fucking with the elections. Allegedly.
And Facebook's in that too.
Yeah.
And the whole delete Facebook
Google with China and like Apple. Did you listen to the Alex Jones podcast, right?
Not the full one. Oof. But Alex Jones, bro, you need to digest that nigga, bro. You can't just take that nigga just fully and just move on to the next thing. And he says it so like nonchalantly, like it's just plainly obvious. Like everyone knows this. But what was I saying was
paradoxically
we lack
patience.
I think it's the thing of short term, long term, where you should be able to live a way short term or live a different way long term. So my favorite quote from Gary is Gary Vaynerchuk is long term patience but short term speed. Like live patiently, know that it may take you 20 years for you to start to be able to make a living out of the shit that you love, but also work every day like you don't have a minute left. Work every day like you're gonna die tonight, and you need to get those ideas out, or else it's never gonna come out. So every day you're working like the most impatient person ever. Like I need it to happen now, but you also know that it's not gonna happen now.
But
easy. Also know when to not work, when you need to like chill out, because if you're going every day like it's a sprint, you're gonna run out of.
How do you make that practical? Like it is practical, like fully, but how do you make that advice easy to consume? It's like
it's hard.
Well, it's you can't, because it's gonna be your own truth, right?
Yeah, that's too.
Your own truth.
Like some people don't need to. Some people are fine with like 9 to 5. Like some people are. If you're happy, like if you're not miserable, like you're chilling. Like some people just want to be with their families. Some people don't want to spend every time like working overtime every day. But those people probably feel like they're wrong for feeling that way, because everyone is like, the whole culture now is like, fuck a 9 to 5 job. I'm better than a 9 to 5 job. I'm an entrepreneur. I want to be self-made. He also said something else. You can be a shitty number one in a company. There's a lot of people who are number ones, like just in general, like in businesses. Okay. There are a lot of people who are striving to be number ones in like companies when it could be a great number 27.
Oh, I see.
Like you're trying to be a CEO so bad, but you would probably be more successful as a number 27 at like Facebook or Instagram or like a big company.
Or the HR manager.
It's like it's the lack of self-awareness. There's a lack of self-awareness. There's a lack of there's a lot of like niggas just watching too much.
It's also the same thing as you're saying, like you need to speed up in the short term, but also that's a paradox, because you do much better slowing down, taking a step back, and analyzing what you actually need to do.
Do the most you can, but don't try to do everything today. Like, it's like, okay, you have a yearly plan. You want to do this. You want to do that this year. Okay, what are you going to do every month to make this year happen? Break it down. Break it down into small parts and make sure those small parts, like, treat those small parts like they're the big parts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, make sure you don't fucking lack with those small parts, because you have a big part that you're tackling, and the only way you can tackle that big part is if you take it slowly. Know that it's going to take 20 years.
And this again comes back to like meditation. Like if you won't be able to take that step back if you're always anxious and thinking about, oh, this happened, this, that, this. So many variables in life. You're thinking about them all at once. It's not sustainable.
Pick one.
Pick one.
If it doesn't work,
pick one
change.
for this minute.
Yeah, if it doesn't work, change it. Don't have too much pride that you have to stick with it if it's not working. It's not working. Know when to quit, but never give up. It's literally all paradoxes. Like know when you have to give up, but never give up. It's a bunch of bullshit. But
imagine
it's not.
telling your child this. He'd be like, "Yo, what the fuck, Dad?"
I know. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, and it's not like you can't be like really too mad because it's as just looking around you, especially in the age of just everyone being able to share their lives and engineer their lives online and just act however.
And they want to make
act,
change, right? Not just to their lives, to other people's lives.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to become a character that you know you're not, so you can feel better about yourself.
Right.
Like when you're
or even
online,
trying to actually push a greater good.
Yeah, you can play your alter. You can become an alter ego. You can become someone you're not. Like you're this powerful person online, but you know that like if social media is gone, like you're nobody. Like you're nothing.
And you have to be okay with that. It's like
nothing.
Because you are nothing from birth. Like
exactly. But some people are doing that as distractions from like their actual shittiness.
Reality,
they're just playing it like they're perfect, right? So it's like I think the advice I could give from my 19-year-old I don't know shit self is like the one thing I've realized just mainly off experience is that you should not let and it's so hard because I think it subconsciously happens, the comparison when you see people doing good and there's just you just automatically
computers, of course.
Yeah, you just automatically just start comparing like, oh shit, they're there, but I'm not there. Like I don't have this. I don't have this. He has 200,000 plays. I have 100. Fuck. Like damn.
People are
yeah, he's more important than me. He must be more important than me. But like those same people who are getting all these things, once they may have been doing it for 5 years and now they're finally starting to reap the benefits, or they just have a lot of. They're just very popular. That's the thing, bro.
Luck too.
Let me. Listen.
That's being people that you see something, you're so quick to want to
listen. Popular kids in school. That's the head start they have. It's just a head start. It's just someone who's sprinting at the beginning of the marathon. Just because you're fucking place 20 at the start of a fucking 500K doesn't mean you're gonna lose. It's a 500K. He's just but life. You know? Imagine a 500K run.
Around the world like
It's around the fucking world. Like, nigga, the nigga's beating you in the first 2Ks doesn't mean he's gonna win. And you're seeing someone being 20 places ahead of you as you having lost when you just started. And it's not even something that you necessarily have control over. It's just something that happens very subconsciously, and that's why you need to limit the time you spend on this shit. Because you're seeing a lot of those engineered bitches that are using Facetune now to look perfect. Okay, they're using poses to look perfect. They're just trying to look perfect, and you see them looking perfect. You know they don't actually look perfect because you know those same tricks that they use, and you use them too. But the fact that they're getting all this attention, all the comments you're seeing, all the likes you're seeing, all this virtual currency, you're like, fuck, I'm not that. I have less than that. She has like 20 more likes than me. Fuck, I'm not shit. And it's like, now you see yourself as lower. And that's just a fucking downhill. Like you're just going on a rabbit hole.
Instagram, they took away you can't see the likes. Well, other people can't see your likes.
I can still see it.
You can, but other people can't.
No. Like I can still see other people's.
Really?
It's I don't think mine is updated yet. And a lot of people hate that.
That you can't see it?
Yeah.
Silly.
And you know why they hate it? I just want to know that
yeah.
someone's doing less. Like I just want to know if someone's doing good. Like I want to know
but you're doing better than
I want to know how this person who is not really that important in my life is performing in their Instagram post. How many people double tap their shit without even caring? Bro, you know how mindless it is to just go.
Fuck, like, oh my god, man. My brother and sister, they were literally on their phones for an hour straight, maybe 2 yesterday.
And I can't even be too cheesy because I
no, yeah, of course I do that shit too.
I'll do the same shit, but like on YouTube. I can't be on Instagram for 2 hours. I can't. Like when it comes to actual YouTube is in a way a social media, but when it comes to like social media, I get so fucking annoyed after a while because just when you know how people work and how like sometimes you know, especially if you know those people and you've spoken to them outside of like that shit and you know how they actually are and you see them online and you see like that they're playing this character, you're like, nigga, shut up.
That's the funniest thing to me.
And that's why I can't, like, people were talking about their feeds and like my feed. Like
I'll have a like for them it's like, oh yeah, people are gonna love this. For me, I have a smile on my face while I'm watching, like, this is so silly.
And yeah, it's like bro, like that's why I hate that Finsta concept. I fucking hate it. Why do I hate it? Because your Finsta should be your real account.
Right.
Because that's who you actually are. And you're just hiding it behind this engineering of the real account. And I get it. If you're an artist and you wanna like you're
curate
this is
this is
your world. Like you're trying to create a world. You're creating this piece. Like your entire life is an art piece in a way if you're an artist. If you take yourself that seriously. But if you just like stressing over what to post next, and you post.
I used to, man. Like, I was like, fuck. Like, okay, I'm gonna post this today. Save this for save this for next week. Save this for next week. I don't even care anymore.
That's why now, like, you'll have like you see that random post like the one you put on your story. I was just like, man, like why am I trying to have this feed be perfect? Let me just post a stupid ass selfie of me just like reversed and just smiling, just like a random post that has literally no purpose because. That's what I do. Like that's what I do. Like I'll send it to my friends. Like why can't I just? That's literally what it's supposed to be, right? You're sharing shit with your friends, right? You're sharing shit with people who may care, right? Like they may like
if they follow you, then
they care to see your face or some shit. They want to know how you're doing. You're fine. Like okay, let me just post this random selfie. It's like, but now you have to. The picture needs to be perfect. I need to edit this. I need to get 20 apps to go through this app so I can, I need to widen my lips a bit. I need to make sure my nose is a bit thinner. I need to make sure my nigga. When I see you in real life, I know you don't look like this. You just look like a beast.
Like what are you getting out of those pixels being enlarged in some like certain way, sharpened a certain way? Nothing. It's not real.
It's so annoying. Like people's whole self-esteem is built around that. Like niggas' whole like worth. Niggas' whole self-worth is built out of that. And taken, it's not gonna be around forever. Like social media is gonna be a thing of the past. Like it's gonna be like niggas are gonna make fun of like niggas for using social media eventually. Just like we make fun of people with MySpace. MySpace was tight. Right. Now like you have a MySpace, that's a joke. Like we use that as a joke. Like hit me on MySpace, that's like niggas laugh.
That's so bad.
Hit me on AOL, hit me on MSN, that's a joke. But then before niggas used to stress over that shit. And now all those niggas who were big on MySpace, unless they migrated to the other shit fast enough, they're nobodies. And it's like niggas who blow up, like who make the hot song, who are nobodies now. Like I wonder where fucking that nigga who made first let me out the motherfucker. Like, is he okay?
We don't know.
Is he okay? Cause bro, we know from a lot of niggas from the 70s who are now doing like normal jobs. And like they toured and all of that shit, and now they're just like janitors in places. They had like hit records, and now they're janitors. Cause all they could produce was just a hit record. And then they toured off that, make the most money for that label, and then that label's like, you're done. Peace. So it's like you're chasing that instant, you want it now, you want the end of the race now. But once you're done sprinting and you think you won, and you realize there's another 400 Ks to run, and you're tired, and now everyone's passing you, you're just gonna lose. You're just gonna lose hope.
It's so crazy how like just from hearing that conversation, I could just go on tangent, and like my mind just went from like, oh, I should talk about this, and then you say the next word, I already forgot what I was gonna say. It's like
every episode is gonna end up being a rant on social media.
Yeah, we gotta stop that.
Yo, you know what we should do? We should read Homo Deus all together and talk about it.
Yeah,
because I want to talk about Sapiens a lot, because I think Sapiens is a lot to learn. But I'm not even done reading it.
How far are you?
I think I have 20, 40, 30, maybe 30 pages left to read. Yeah.
Jeez.
But I want to take notes because like all the highlighting shit I have to go over it again to like rewrite it so I can understand it. By the way, the best way to read, or if you want to read just to learn something, stop reading shit and going and letting your dopamine fool you that you're actually learning. Okay? Fucking read it, read a chapter, read a paragraph, read a few sentences, close the book, and then try to recall what the fuck you just read. Because a lot of niggas just get information just to say they have information.
Depends what kind of book too, though.
Of course, yeah, it depends on the book. Sometimes you just need to, sometimes you need to read it again. Sometimes you need just, the table of contents would give you all the shit you need to learn from the book. Sometimes you could just read the first paragraph of the chapter.
Or sometimes the book won't even change like your life because it's not the right time for you to read it.
There's no one way to do everything. Like, of course, if you're reading a dense book, you should not read it and then think that you're so smart now. Because that's not the way memory works. You need to go through the process of short-term memory, and your brain has a max capacity. Can't actually remember everything. You don't have unlimited storage in your brain. You just have a lot. So
it's not local.
So it has to filter shit, and you have to tell it what you think is worthy of being remembered for a long term. And through doing that, you have to recall and repeat the information over and over again. Reading a book once. Yeah, it's cool. Your brain is like, oh shit, like new information, because your brain is wired to want novelty anyways. So when you have this new shit, it feels great. It's like you're smarter, like life is gonna be better now. You're gonna apply it for a week, and then self-help mainly. You're applying it for a week if it's self-help. If it's like some crazy like information like the spirit shit, like the morphic resonance shit, or like the space sapiens shit. I already forgot the beginning of the book.
That's okay too, because
that's like, okay. Yeah, I can reread it.
Yeah. And also, if it's not important, then
I get the it's not everything. You're not supposed to remember every word, but it's like if you want to remember it, if you're reading so that you can actually learn this thing and remember it, take notes as you read. 1 and 2, do a lot of recall, because your brain is gonna forget it if you don't recall the information, because it puts shit on the short term, and then it waits for you to repeat whatever you want to remember. This is the name to the theory. It's like a bottle thing. It's a bottle filter. You know how like the neck of a bottle?
Bottleneck.
Yeah, the bottleneck. The neck of a bottle. The information has to go through it.
Right.
And you have to make it go through it. You have to tell it to go through it.
But only a little bit.
But until then, you have all of this space here. That's why the short-term memory is short-term, because it's like it has to know what you want to put in the long term.
Right. It's only going to capture what's significant for you.
Exactly. And long-term memory is like it's there forever in a way. Like it fades.
You can access it, right?
It fades, but you can access it if you want it, like good enough. You tell subconscious, bring this back, and it's gonna bring it back.
Like, imagine going into like a second grade class and just telling them about like morphic resonance, spirituality, meditation, telling them that you are not your body, and there's accounts of people leaving their bodies. What do you think would happen? Like they're like,
I don't think they teach them spirituality in the early.
Like, do you think they'd be scared, or do you think they'd be like fascinated?
They'd be fascinated. Yeah. Kids are fascinated by everything.
Exactly.
Like if you say you're not your, because they tend to take things very literally too sometimes. So sometimes they'll be like,
but also,
my body.
But if they can't grasp it, I guess
Because there's a certain point where your brain can grasp, like there's a certain point where it cannot grasp some very abstract things, and you need to work them up to that through like math, like basic math and shit. You need to work their brains to being able to think abstractly. So I think it's about more implementing it as soon as they're capable of, and I know there's definitely scientific research on when you're capable of abstract thought. So as soon as you're capable of that, I think they should teach it to kids. Because
it's like 7 or 8, I think.
We're going to start the spiritual revolution.
I want to, man.
Nah, we have to. I ain't watched porn in 3 weeks and a half, nigga. I'm back on my shit. I'm actually back on my shit. Nah, we not objectifying women in 2020. 2019, I might do it a few times. a few more times. You know, you have to. It looks great. It feels great in the short term. But 2020, nigga, 2020 is a new decade. New energies. We fucking, what's that even mean, a spiritual revolution anyways?
Spiritual revolution, can mean, oh my god, it's just trying to evolve the human race as fucking, I don't even know, it's just love, but it's like just making people aware that it's possible at all times, and that just taking that step back.
It's not even a
Fuck, I
9.
feel like I told you yesterday, right? I feel like fucking Jehovah's Witness for meditation after getting back. It's like, hey,
Please meditate.
brother, do you have a spiritual practice?
Have you heard of spiritual? Have you heard of breathing? Have you accepted breathing as your Lord and Savior?
Oh my God.
Bro, no, but it's true though. It's true. It's true what just observing things does for you. I do it now all the time. I'm just like, let me just feel everything. Feel everything. Question everything. Stop going, it is what it is. It is what it is, but it's not. It's this paradoxes. It's like everything is what it is, yes, but it is not what it is. Please ask questions. That's why kids are the most smartest fucking beings, because they just question everything. They're sponges.
And if you're listening to this podcast and this is the only podcast you listen to, that's probably not true, but at all.
Listen to other podcasts.
Listen to other podcasts, because we're just fucking stupid, bro.
We don't know anything.
We don't know anything.
We're actually not. We're never prepared. We're supposed to talk about this shit for be able to talk about shit for an hour, but we just went on to other shit.
There's experts out there who are specialized in one certain thing.
And also, now that we're 2 digits, we're gonna wrap this up like this. It's 46 minutes in. Okay. We're gonna try to have more.
Just significant,
more interesting
guests.
Not to offend our other guests, because they're pretty, everyone's is interesting. There's something to learn from everyone. Everyone's a therapist. The world is your therapist. But listen, we're gonna try to have people who actually know what the fuck they're talking about. So I want to hit up my professors. I want to hit up just if there's a Canada-based author, Ottawa-based author who has very important, very interesting, important shit that they know that we may not know. I want to have those people over now. And now that we have a few episodes, we could go, look, this is what we have. And we're getting more equipment soon too, so shit's gonna get better. And if it looks proper, they're gonna be more willing to join, because sometimes they have to promote themselves too. It's like what are they getting out of it? We have to give them some value for coming over, right? So we're gonna bring more interesting people who might have crazier ideas, because we don't have every idea in the world. There's always something to learn from someone else. And I'm gonna do more research, and we should have podcast notes or some shit like that. Nah, I like how it's flowy,
I guess.
What
I think we should have a notebook where we just have.
Because what some people have been telling me is that a lot of the reason why I don't like podcasts is because a lot of shit feels fake. I want to be the ideal. I want to be the ideal radio host. What is a radio? That's why I hate professionalism. Professionality is what do these people do?
But have you listened to Tim Ferriss' podcast? Mm-mm. He takes notes, and he has certain. He maybe has 5 points.
But that could be a Tim Ferriss thing.
But his to me, his podcast is one of the best.
Because he's Tim Ferriss. Because he knows shit.
Of course, right.
He has years of knowing things.
But also, it's because he has certain questions that he wants to ask. And
I think here's the thing. I think it's good to have notes, but also never let the spontaneity die.
Yeah, of course.
So if we want to go away from the notes, it's not
that difficult. It'll be easier to maintain. It'll be easy to maintain.
Yeah. Anyways. Thanks for listening. I don't know if I want to do the ASMR thing, because this is just gonna clip. Thanks.
We forgot to do the clap at the beginning.
I did.
Oh, you did.
Not with the GoPro, but oh my god, it's still on. Shout out GoPro. Shout out Tim Bacani Nakomo for assistance with videography.
What about me?
Fuck you, nigga. It's all about. Come here. Come here, baby.
Sit down. Oh, no, shit.
Come here, baby. This is Tim Bacani Nakomo, the sexiest man on earth. After Noah Holder. He's your evil son.
He's your Ableton.
Fuck Noah Holder. Fuck Lance Lorenzo.
Fuck the F word, bro.
Fuck Lance Lorenzo. Let white people say the N word. Thank you for
I was just gonna say that. What about me? Can I say it?
Yeah, say N word.
N word.
Goodbye.
Anger.
Goodbye. Controversy is the best way to advance our human race. Bye.
You think of dying? I can get as much footage on this one, but I think dying. Yeah.
size too big. We deleted it automatically.
Gone
I'll
forever.
cry.
Oh, this one has the buzz. Never mind, it doesn't.
How you did the last one?
The last
I
one?
mean, the really
You know my favorite shots I got were
Like people say.
controversies.
It's pretty good. I think the pay Friday might be enough for me to buy all this shit. Or at least buy the basics and maybe split it in half.
Yeah.
Bro, we're double digits. The maximum we'll ever go is $9.99, huh? As then it should be dead. As then, like, there's nothing else to say.
Too much.
And never feel bad if we end up repeating ourselves.
Oh
What
my
I
God.
realize is that.
You know what would be hilarious?
Yeah.
If I can't find this audio file in mine.
I think mine is fine.
That does.
No, it doesn't. It's only at the beginning.
So I'm trying to save it.
GoPro's still on.
Unfortunately, I have to get to mine.